Little Lost Pip, written by Courtney McNamara, copyright 2022. All rights reserved. Pippin was just a tiny squirrel, shy and scared and a little frail. He had wiry hair, a button nose and a short and stubby tail. When he was just a tiny kid, he got lost and was all alone. He found himself in a great big, scary world, without a family or a home. He had to try really hard to keep himself safe and dry. With no one but himself for protection, he sometimes had to steal, and hide, and lie. There were times he hid in the bushes of a beautiful home he admired from afar. Tall, and strong, and filled with love, to him, it shined out like a star. He imagined what it would be like to live there, to feel safe and loved and warm. To not go on being hungry, to have a refuge from the storms. There was just one thing that frightened him about that beautiful house. It was a menacing and hungry cat that he had seen catch many a mouse. It prowled around and strutted, looking for a bite to eat. And when he looked at Pippin, he saw a special, tasty treat. One terrifying and fateful time that changed Pippin from that day on was when that frightening feline chased him across that home's lawn. The cat chased him into a corner, swishing his tail from left to right, licking his lips and grinning, giving Pippin a terrible fright. Before he knew what had happened, the cat gobbled up his tail. And Pippin sat there shivering, cold, and hurt and frail. He closed his eyes and whimpered, hoping the cruel fiend would leave him alone. Then, to his great amazement, he heard a stern and warning tone. The cat let out a frightful hiss, before meandering away. Pip was too frightened to move, though he didn't want to stay. He felt himself being lifted, and held firmly in someone's grasp. He began to scratch furiously, hoping to find freedom at last. The hands cupped around him firmly, while he continued to scratch and bite. Though he was safe from the cat, he still felt the need to fight. No matter how much he fought and bit, the hands would not let him go. Though he felt them wince in pain, and saw drops of red blood flow. But the woman who grasped him, took him into the big home, washed his wounds and bandaged them, assuring him he was no longer alone. But could he really trust this stranger? How did he know she was his friend? Though she took him into the home, and helped his tail to mend? The woman who brought him in, had a warm and gentle smile. But at times it looked to him like the cat's, menacing that stretched out for a mile. The woman wasn't like the cat, she was soft and sweet and kind. But no matter how Pippin tried, he always saw the cat in his mind. How could he really know there was no more danger in this place? The home he once dreamed of living in, now had a looming, scary face. Though the woman tried to love him, he still bit her in his fright. Though she persisted to snuggle and hug him, all day and every night. If he ever felt himself begin to love her, he'd get scared and give her a big bite. Because even more than the scary cat, being vulnerable gave him a fright. He felt the need to still squirrel away food, and sometimes to steal and lie. He didn't want to forget how to protect himself, in case someday he found himself back outside. One day he saw her crying after he bit her, and he felt good. He felt strong and big and powerful, even though he wondered if he should. He thought that if he could hurt her, the woman who was tall and strong, then maybe he couldn't be hurt again, though he couldn't have been more wrong. He would stand in front of the mirror, flexing his muscles and feeling brave. Because now he knew he didn't need anyone. It was only him who he could save. He liked to stand there gawking, practicing his mean stare like the cat. narrowing his eyes and grinning, warning the woman to scat. He didn't need her to protect him, he could do that on his own. He was doing fine without her, out there all alone. One day as he stood there, she tried to scoop him up with care. And when he went to bite her, in the reflection he saw his own mean glare. The truth hit him fiercely, seeing as he never had before. She was not his real enemy, no, Pippin now was very sure. She was not hurting him. It was not from her he needed to hide. No, what was truly hurting him was something he kept down deep inside. She winced out in pain and dropped him to the floor. He was then scared more than ever, afraid she couldn't take him anymore. He ran and hid in a corner, afraid that now he was truly alone. She would surely throw him out. He would never truly be at home. He sat there sadly crying, somewhere that she couldn't see. Feeling lost, scared, and confused, engulfed in loneliness and misery. Suddenly, he felt soft hands lift him as they'd always done before. Holding on to him gently, lifting him off the floor. Though he still felt the urge to bite, he felt his heart began to heal. For the first time he had the suspicion that her love for him was real. She whispered to him assurance that no matter how he scratched and bit, she would continue to pick him up from any dark and narrow pit. Love was strong and gritty, she said, not for the weak of heart. And she told him that no matter what he did, she'd never from him depart. Though Pip still sometimes gets frightened, and bites, and scratches, and fights. His mom still picks him up and reassures him, her love for him is stronger than his fright.